Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and the Dallas Cowboys with a 1-1 record will head out to Soldier Field to take on Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and the 0-2 Chicago Bears. Let's expect some points. It looked like last week that the Dallas Cowboys were going to score anytime that they wanted to against the New York Giants. That offense was humming in every capacity. Dak Prescott had a great day. Did he have an interception? Did he have to throw the football 52 times? Yes, but the run game, we saw a little bit of what we saw week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. This offense really starting to click, scoring a bunch of points for Chicago. 2 first drives of the game. Minnesota go right down the field, rushing touchdown for Caleb. Start off against Detroit, you're down 7-0, you need a response. They go right down the field, passing touchdown to Rome Odunze. Believe both of those plays came on 3rd down. The rest of the games, though, as an offense, Chicago has struggled, and of course, you drop 50 points. The Lions put a 50 bomb on you. There are clearly other things besides the quarterback, because we have seen Caleb for sure. Your eyes can physically see it, that he looks better through 2 games against 2 far superior competition than what he saw a year ago to start off the season with just the Tennessee Titans and not playing all that well. So for this game, we're expecting points. Now, for Chicago, they are without their best player on their roster, and he is. Jalen Johnson is the best player on the Chicago Bears, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. It is clear as day that this secondary is undermanned currently. And without a guy like Johnson, week 1, it took a matter of time before Minnesota figured it out, had a little bit of a run game established before they were able to hit Jones on a wheel route and get Jefferson on a 3rd and goal, and the McCarthy run. They just had that avalanche of points in the 4th quarter. For Dallas, you kind of know what that feels like with the Giants dropping 21 points on you in the 4th quarter. It looked like you were just able to move the ball down the field. Every time you needed a spot, you couldn't get it. Russell Wilson, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns. Thank you, Lord, that he just chucks it up. Screw it. Malik Neighbors is down there somewhere, a guy that had torched you for 167. Wandale goes for over 140 in that game. If you're Chicago, you know where you're attacking. But we've heard Ben Johnson say that he wants to establish the run the football. That's what needs to be better. It looked pretty good early, decently. DeAndre Swift with the fumble, Brian Branch with a nice hit on him, mouth guard flying, football flying, probably teeth flying at some point. He's got to hold on to the football. So you understand that Ben Johnson will be more balanced, that a lot of pundits are going to come out and say, this game's going to be 38-13. I don't see it happening that way because of the way these teams look like they want to run the ball to then pass it. That Javonte Williams has run the ball well so far on the year. DeAndre Swift, the yards per carry has been bad, but it does look like he's been ready to pop a couple, that he has been an effective chess piece out of the backfield. I got to touch on the way the Cowboys won that game, because that is the type of game we have seen them lose many times. And it's clear. You could have understood it. You have a tough loss against Philly, your rival, against the Giants. You got him boxed in. Somehow you let Malik Neighbors get behind the defense. Now, I'll say that they shouldn't have even had the chance. That should have burned a lot more clock on the possession. We're going down there. That's for another day, breaking down clock management. But that can't happen. So I just want to know. Let me know down below in the comments, Cowboys fans, how you felt before that 64-yard field goal from Brandon Aubrey. Are you confident enough that he makes that? Because there are Bears fans out there that have a kicker that can't even put the ball out of the end zone. So if he can't put the ball out of the end zone when he's asked to do that, that's the coaching. Kick the ball out of the end zone, make them have to run a play before the 2-minute warning. You got a guy that can apparently make close to 70-yard kicks. That's the range, that's the field goal line, and you got a guy that can't get out of the end zone. I just think that there's some irony in that for sure between the difference of ability. Cairo Santos is a good kicker. He that game winner against Green Bay, great ability. Besides the special teams and all of that, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys and how important a win here is. There's a lot of a narrative that guys don't necessarily listen to the outside noise. They hear it. They know what's going on in Chicago. They're looking up and seeing, all right, we dropped 40 points on New York. Maybe could have even scored a little bit more. We can do that to the Chicago Bears, who just gave up 50. I believe that we can do that. Now, for Dallas, I'm just telling you, a couple of you guys may know what that field is like at Soldier Field. A lot different from the fast track in Detroit. It does not allow you to dig your cleats in and run the way that you can. Like CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, this is just advice for someone that has been to Soldier Field a number of times and seen guys like Justin Jefferson flat out fall on their butt, like Greg Jennings flat out for Green Bay Packers, or Donald Driver, best route runners in the game, just fall, just chunks of grass bigger than this, just out. They need to come out with the right pair of cleats, because Soldier Field will turn you into looking like a high schooler out there. So come prepared. This is not a game where you're going to do that at Soldier Field. The field will not allow it. It's like a Harry Potter jinx type reference with what that thing could come up with. We saw the conditions were okay. It's good enough. The league says it's fine. Truly, though, don't really know if it is. For Chicago, you're 0-2. You just lost 2 divisional games. What's your response? What do you do? You're without your best player, and Jalen Johnson in the secondary. How do you respond against a team that's coming into your building? You're in front of your fans. The last time you saw them, they just booed you off the field. How do you respond to that? I think the Bears respond in a good way, and they play a heck of a football game against Dallas, and they give them their best shot, that the offense continues to click. We've seen it coming out. I would say it's probably a flip of a coin that they come out their first possession and score a touchdown. Confident enough to say that. Now, you can say the exact same thing for the Dallas Cowboys, and that they can have the ability to do that. I see Dak Prescott throwing for 375 yards in this game, because that secondary, simply put, just does not have the horses to be able to run with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. These guys are just more talented than the players the Bears have in the secondary. It's not being critical. I'm not being mean. I'm just telling you what it is. There's a disparity in talent on the field. So if you're Chicago, how do you make up for that? I truly believe that you have to find ways to manufacture pressure. You cannot let Dak Prescott sit back there in the same way McCarthy did late in that game, in the exact same way that Jared Goff did throughout that entire day, getting pressure in his face. If you give up the deep ball, you're going to give it up, but you'd rather see that than the Cowboys march 6-7 plays down the field and just pick you apart. At least you can get the offense back there on the field than having Dak Prescott sit back there with a 4-man rush. Montez Sweat, Tayo Odangbo, Grady Jarrett, these guys that are getting paid all this money, what do you do? All the talk, all the negativity out there about you guys. You're making that money, you're cushy now, and you're all set for life, and you're not sure. Make a statement. Come out there and get pressure in Dak Prescott's face. Stop the run when they go to it. I'm fired up for this one, because you have 2 very proud teams, some of the best fan bases in any sport around the world, passionate fans, historical. Jerry Jones, a proud guy. I hate what I've seen the last couple of years and all of the bad talk about him for a guy that is arguably the most important person in NFL history for the game. Curly Lambeau is a guy like that. Vince Lombardi is a guy like that. Obviously, George Halas, right? You'd have to put him number 1, but Jerry Jones is easily in the top 10. Halas's daughter McCaskey is probably up there, but these are organizations that are proud, and to see them where they're at, and that's why with Blitz with Blender, to step away a second from preview of the game, and this really is still a preview, is this is a fun game. If you're a fan of the Bears or the Cowboys, enjoy this one. Remember what you felt like just 2 weeks ago getting into this season and excited for it. Maybe speaking a little bit more to the Bears fans here, being 0-2 down in the dumps. But remember what it felt like without football. Go out there and enjoy it and be appreciative that we have football to watch. That's what I bring with Blitz with Blender, is we love football. If you're a fan of the Cowboys or Bears, you're probably a big Cowboys or Bears fan, but you're also a big football fan. You just like watching the sport, getting a chance to enjoy it for a couple of hours, get your head off of different things happening in the world. We're all dealing with different stuff, and we get a chance to watch couple of guys in jerseys that some of us buy. I bought dozens of them because I love football, and I hope that comes across. Let me know if you want me to talk a little bit more about this kind of stuff and dive a little bit deeper than just X's and O's and talking about players. We do need to talk about players because we need to make a game prediction and why I believe that will happen. So let's do it. I think the Dallas Cowboys will win this football game 27-24 because they have an offense that is prepared. They just showed you that they can effectively move the ball down the field against a team with a great pass rush. New York has a better defensive line than Chicago does, and if they're not able to get Dak Prescott on the ground, they brought him to the ground 3 times. They didn't get him on the ground 6 times. Chicago doesn't come up with more than 4 sacks. Dak Prescott, even if he does have 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, you would believe that he'll be able to pick those up. For the Bears, I see the offense being better back-to-back weeks, that we'll see progression from week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3. I see them scoring 24 points, but don't have the faith in the tackles. Darnell Wright out of Tennessee, you traded back with that pick from Jalen Carter, who looks like he might be the best defensive player in the conference, and Braxton Jones, you're in the tween zone there, and you brought in Ozzie Trapillo. But Loveland, first-round pick. We haven't seen Shamar Turner. Trapillo and Turner have been healthy scratches, and Luther Burden just a return man. It just seems funky with what's happening there. I understand you got to put the best guys on the field. Burden didn't have the experience. They don't have trust in him right now, and Loveland missed a lot of time, so it's obvious he has to catch up. We get all of that. But Dallas doesn't have the same type of questions. They've got the guys ready to play. They've got all of their chess pieces, call them pawns, bishops, rooks, whatever you want to. They've got their pieces to use, whereas it looks like the Bears still have some pieces close to their chest, and they're not using all of them. At what point do you open it up and get the football to Colston Loveland, even if maybe he isn't running the route at 14 yards instead of 13? Those types of things. He's not cutting at 13 instead of 11, right? And messing up those intricate details that, of course, Ben Johnson wants to see. Prescott has proven that he can beat the Chicago Bears. He's done it in the past. Soldier Field, not an easy place to play, let alone the crowd's going to be fired up. We understand that. Bears likely will start out fast. This looks like a game that can have a 17, maybe first half score going into the third quarter, but I believe in Dallas a little bit more. Dak Prescott will outduel Caleb Williams, who does show progress, and that there's a lot of positivity going forward, but there's just more pieces around Chicago that need to be filled in. And Dallas, just think of what they could do if there was Micah Parsons going up against Wright or against Braxton Jones. How good do you feel? That's for another day. They got the picks. So I appreciate you so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. Do the Cowboys beat Chicago? Do the Bears come up with the win? They are favored in this game. Are they able to pull it out at home? Now, I want you to know that this is unbiased. I am a diehard Chicago Bears fan. I don't know if you've seen the content before, but I am a diehard fan. So if you think this is biased in some way, it is absolutely not. I just have seen enough Bears football so far this year where I've come to the point where I think that Dallas beats them because of what we have seen with their weapons and going up against that Bears secondary. So I appreciate you so much. Hope you come around here a lot more often. Certainly would love to engage with you with the content. I make college NFL content every single day. It is my favorite thing to do. We're going to continue doing it, having a whole bunch of fun. Football is still back. There's still a whole bunch of energy. Super excited to keep the games and the previews, predictions, and all the football talk rolling. So I hope you subscribe and see you again in the future, and I will see you next time.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blunder.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.